With the 2021 NFL Draft now in the books, I'm going to give a list of 5 teams that I thought had the best drafts in 2021. Leave in the comments your list of top 5 teams that you thought had the best draft in 2021, and let's get into it. So we're not going to go in a particular order, but first I have the Washington football team coming off a 7-9 season. They did win the NFC East last year. They signed Ryan Fitzpatrick in the offseason. We'll see how things go for them, but they did make 10 picks in this draft. In the first round, they made a bit of a surprise pick with Jamin Davis out of Kentucky, just an athletic freak, really good pursuit of the ball, good tackler, has some coverage ability as well. He needs some more experience, probably being a one-year starter, but I do like that pick a lot from an upside standpoint. In the second round, they took Samuel Cosmi, a guy with a lot of experience out of Texas. He's very athletic, good technique, he has strong hands. I like this pick, and Washington definitely needs some offensive line help. In the third round, they took a cornerback, Benjamin St-Juste out of Minnesota. A very long body type. I do love that about him. Really sure tackler, makes plays on the ball downfield. Now, I know they signed William Jackson from Cincinnati. They do have Kendall Fuller, but as a third cornerback, I do like the upside that St-Juste possesses. Also in the third round, they took Diami Brown, the North Carolina wide receiver. This guy knows how to make plays downfield. He's good after the catch. He has good strength, good releases off the line. He's not the biggest guy out there, but definitely plays a lot bigger than what his height says he is. They made some other picks like John Bates out of Boise State. They have Logan Thomas on the roster right now, but not much else behind him. Bates has good size. He's 6'5", 250, pretty good speed, and is a pretty good run blocker as well. And I also like the pick of Dax Milne. He kept showing up when I watched Zach Wilson play. He's a really good route runner, has solid hands, and made some big plays downfield for BYU last year. Overall, it helps a lot when you have 10 picks as compared to like 5 or 6, but I do think about 4 or 5 guys from this draft class can make an impact in 2021 for Washington. Number 2, I have the Denver Broncos. This was the first draft for the Broncos since John Elway stepped down as GM and gave that title to George Patton, who was with the Vikings previously. They still don't have much of an answer at quarterback between Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock could break out in year 3. We'll see how that goes. Teddy Bridgewater, we know who he is. He's about a top 25 to 20 starting quarterback in this league, and they're coming off a 5-11 season in a tough division with the Chiefs, of course, and even the Chargers, who had a good draft and look like an up-and-coming team in the future. For their first pick, number 9 overall, a lot of people, myself included, thought it would be Justin Fields, who was sitting there on the board. I guess they do have enough confidence in Drew Lock now, but they took Patrick Surtain, the cornerback out of Alabama. Now, I like Surtain. I think he's a safe pick. He may not have the ceiling of a guy like a J.C. Horn, even a Caleb Farley if he stays healthy, but Patrick Surtain seems like a sure thing. They signed Kyle Fuller from the Bears. Seems like a good move as long as he's got something left in the tank and something left to prove here. The Broncos secondary has been getting better. I definitely like that about them. They made a late pick in this draft that I love for their secondary as well. But Surtain has really good technique. He's been battle tested. He's a sure tackler. I like this pick a lot. Should be a safe one for Denver. In the second round, early on, they traded up for a running back, Javonte Williams. Now, I'm not a big fan of trading up for running backs, especially in round 2, but I love Javonte Williams. The guy breaks tackles consistently. He can do stuff in the receiving game. His balance is insane. He can break off big runs. I think Javonte Williams is more talented than Melvin Gordon. I'm not really a big Melvin Gordon guy, but I think Javonte Williams has a chance to be the starting running back on that team sooner than later. In the third round, they took Quinn Miners out of Wisconsin Whitewater. He's 6'3", 320. His hands are over 10 inches. The guy has a huge upper body. He played left guard mostly, can play center if Lloyd Cushenberry continues to struggle in pass protection. Miners did play some low-level competition in college, of course. I think a D3 athlete he was, but when he got to the Senior Bowl, he looked incredible, and I do think that should translate to the NFL level. Later in round 3, they took linebacker Baron Browning out of Ohio State. He has really good physical tools. His speed is great, explosive. He's a scary tackler. He got better in 2020, and it's not like Denver stacked out of their mind at the linebacker position, so I do like that pick, honestly, for Baron Browning. Caden Stearns in round 5. He has good size, good range, and some ball skills, and this is the pick I love for their secondary, Jamar Johnson out of Indiana. Not much experience, which is probably why he fell. He really did not play too much, but when he was out there, he had really good hips. He plays the ball so well. He reads quarterbacks' eyes. He can either play deep safety or even slot corner if you need him to, and learning from Justin Simmons, I think that will benefit him greatly in the NFL. And they also took wide receiver Seth Williams out of Auburn. He's 6'3", 211, has yards after catch ability, jump ball skills, and makes some crazy highlight catches as well. Whether Drew Lock proves to be a franchise quarterback or not, the Broncos have built that roster into a top 10 roster in the NFL, in my opinion. So for their next quarterback, whether it's the draft next year or trading for an established player like an Aaron Rodgers maybe, that quarterback will be set up for success. Now, I know they lost their right tackle, Jawan James, today. due to the Achilles injury, but if they fill that spot in, they should be fine because the Broncos do have a very good roster in my opinion. Next I have the Cleveland Browns coming off that 11-5 season loss in the divisional round to Kansas City. Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski had their second draft, and I think they hit a home run once again. Andrew Berry's been one of my favorite GMs since taking over last year. He's been great, and even Kevin Stefanski if he's making some personnel decisions. But they took Greg Newsome late in the first round of Northwestern. He looked so good in 2020. They barely targeted him. He didn't really allow too many receptions this year. He has really good feet, great technique, ball skills. I love that pick. At cornerback too, I know they have Denzel Ward, but Greedy Williams is kind of an unknown right now, so I do like the depth there, adding to an important position at cornerback. In the middle of the second round, I got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I cannot believe I'm saying that. Somehow the linebacker fell all the way that far. Apparently it was due to a heart condition, but his medicals checked out. They took him in the second round. It seems like great value. This guy can cover any position group, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers, can play slot corner. It does not matter. Has great range. Definitely a unique linebacker, definitely a bit undersized, but I think the Browns will find a way to make that one work. In the third round, they took Anthony Schwartz, a wide receiver out of Auburn. Maybe a bit of a reach, but you cannot teach that speed. Apparently ran a 4.26 at his pro day, has really good agility. We'll see where he fits in this Browns offense. In the fourth round, they took James Hudson, an offensive tackle. Not the best pro day, but he's good out in space, has quick feet, and once played defensive tackle, so this is relatively a new position for him. Also in the fourth round, they took defensive tackle Tommy Togiai. He has some pass rushing upside, strong hands, good leverage, pretty agile. Looks a bit short out there, but still, he should make an impact right away for the Browns if they put him in there. And even a guy like Demetric Felton, who was their last pick in the sixth round, did not have that good of a pro day, but he could make some plays for you out of the backfield. He can be a slot receiver, knows how to make guys miss in space, just adds another playmaker to that Browns offense. Number 4, I have the New York Jets. I think it's no secret that I've been a big fan of Joe Douglas and of course Andrew Berry since they've taken over and some of the moves they've made since the Jamal Adams trade, getting 2 first-round picks for him. Now I know the Jets are coming off a 2-14 season. They have not had a winning season since 2015. They did not make the playoffs back then, but they had a really good draft this year in my opinion. Even last year made some good picks. Looks like Denzel Mims, of course Mekhi Becton, even a guy like Bryce Hall can definitely make a nice impact for the Jets in 2021. So second overall, I take Zach Wilson, of course, quarterback out of BYU. We kind of knew that one for a while. I'm a big Zach Wilson fan. I think the only thing stopping him from having success in the NFL is injuries. I really can't predict that. He did get hurt in 2019, but Zach Wilson can make so many throws off platform, has a very strong arm, has good pocket awareness, good accuracy. I feel like this kid's a total package, and he's in an offense that'll definitely be well suited for his strengths. Also in round 1, number 14 overall, the Jets traded up for Elijah Vera-Tucker, the guard out of USC. I'm not the biggest fan of trading up for a guard, but Elijah Vera-Tucker seems like a very safe pick, should be a very good starter for a long time. Hopefully for the Jets, he has a Hall of Fame type career. He should play next to Mekhi Becton at left guard. So it seems like a good pick right now. I know trading the 2 third-round picks and of course your first rounder is a lot, but hopefully for the Jets, Vera-Tucker ends up being a great player. And in round 2 early on, they took Elijah Moore, one of my favorite prospects out of Ole Miss, the wide receiver. I know they have Jamison Crowder, but Crowder's on a pretty big cap hit right now. They can probably get rid of him after this year. Elijah Moore is one of the most underrated players in this draft in my opinion. Yes, he's a bit undersized, but he makes things happen with the ball in his hands. He's one of the most tough guys at the catch point. He's a very smooth route runner and definitely knows how to get open quickly, which will help a young quarterback like Zach Wilson. In round number 4, they took Michael Carter, the first of the Michael Carters for the Jets actually. So they took him, the running back out of North Carolina. He's a good receiver. He's pretty quick. He knows how to make guys miss. I think he'll be a solid running back. I don't know if he's a 3-down back, but the Jets definitely needed some running back help. They had nothing going for them in their running back room last year, so I do like this pick in the 4th round. In round 5, they took Jamian Sherwood, the safety out of Auburn. He's a really good tackler, hard hitter, brings a tenacity and toughness on defense that a defensive coordinator will like. He did not run a fast 40, 4.75, which is the one concern. Sometimes does not take great angles to the ball, but I think Sherwood has a chance to be a solid pro, especially for a 5th round pick. And even a little later in the 5th round, they took Michael Carter, the other Michael Carter out of Duke, the safety. Carter's a bit undersized at 5'10", I believe, but has blazing speed and has some position versatility in the Jets secondary. So while I like the Jets draft, I still think they're 1 year off from being a playoff team. I think 2022 is their year to go all in. Zach Wilson will be in year 2. I don't know if the Jets will be Super Bowl contenders by year 2. If Zach Wilson plays at a very high level this year, then it's a possibility. But if the Jets have back-to-back really good drafts, well, back-to-back-to-back at that point, and have a good free agency next year, I think they can make things happen in 2022. So Jets fans should be excited going forward. At number 5, I have another AFC East team, the Miami Dolphins. They just missed the playoffs in 2020. They got to see if Tua Tagovailoa is their franchise quarterback. They got him his former teammate at Alabama, Jalen Waddle, at 6th overall in the first round. I do like the fit, and I feel like Tua does play better with guys that are good at getting separation as compared to physical type of wide receivers, so I do like the fit. And Jalen Phillips was also taken in the first round, another guy with a bunch of injury concerns, but he has a chance to be the best edge rusher in this class. Miami definitely needs some pass rushing help, so I do like the fit and the scheme fit for Jalen Phillips. In round 2, they took Javon Holland, a safety out of Oregon. Miami definitely needed a safety, so it's a good position to attack here. Holland's a great ball hawk safety. He has great size and plus instincts. I do like this pick for them. Also in round 2, they took Liam Eichenberg, an offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. He was a 3-year starter at left tackle, has some position versatility, can play guard if needed, has good leverage and solid technique and pass protection. And also in round 3, they took Hunter Long, one of my favorite sleepers in this class, a tight end out of Boston College. I know they have Mike Gesicki, but he's a great backup right now to have Hunter Long. He has good production in college, has NFL tight end size, contributes as a run blocker, and has good ball skills as well. So those are the 5 teams that I thought had the best drafts. I have a few honorable mentions as well because I feel like a lot of teams have pretty good drafts. I had the Detroit Lions. They took Penei Sewell, Levi Muzarike, Ifatu Milifano, and Aleem McNeil. It was a good draft for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell in their first drafts together. I had the Chicago Bears taking Justin Fields at number 11, which is really good value. Tevin Jenkins in round 2 is good value. Khalil Herbert, Daz Newsome, and Thomas Graham. I have the Los Angeles Chargers, who took Rashawn Slater, who fell to 13. They took Asante Samuel Jr., Josh Palmer, Chris Rumph, and Larry Roundtree. My New York Giants, they got Chicago's first round pick in 2022. They got Kadarius Toney, the exciting wide receiver, Azeez Ojulari, and Aaron Robinson in the first 3 rounds. And the Tennessee Titans, yes, Rashad Weaver has some legal issues right now. We'll see what happens there. But they got Caleb Farley, Dylan Radins, Monty Rice, and Elijah Molden at all pretty good prices. So I thought all those teams had good drafts. Leave in the comments your top 5 for best drafts in 2021. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.